Yo, by the way, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Trust me, you really need to get on that plug right now. And wait, hold on. Let me get back to you. Yeah, back to you.
It's you guys. Have you taken the time to check out previous episodes on Bridging the Gap and SDG and so on? We talked about mental health, post-genocide trauma with Zuba. Shout out to Zuba in Rwanda. Talked about how to be a sports female journalist in the male-dominated industry with Asha Komugisha. There's a lot of that content. All you have to do is just show my hands out, deba hands out, subscribe, like for more. And I mean, we're about to get into a very interesting one with Belise, talking about meditation. Look out for that. Back again.
What up?
You know what I mean?
What's going on?
So, FOMO. Straight into it.
Just direct, like, yeah?
Not bit around the bush at a hole next to your kin, nah. Mm-hmm. Break it down.
FOMO. What's your definition of FOMO? Because I feel like people have a different perception of it.
You mentioned something about, like, obviously there's the normal FOMO, the fear of missing out. Mm-hmm. But you say something that really struck a chord.
Yeah, I called it fear of meeting ourselves, which I think is a problem that's going on. People are living in an era where we're all running away from our problems by wanting to go out. You want to go out, you drink, you have to make plans. But 90% of those people, in my opinion, cannot sit with themselves and enjoy their own company.
Yeah, because we're fearful of reliving our past.
Yeah.
That's a very terrifying place to be.
Meeting your traumas and all that.
Your predispositions and whatnot. It's not easy. Mm-hmm. So we'd rather find mechanisms that can allow us to sort of go around them, just to, pathologies that can allow us to just numb that pain or temporarily just get us away from that. Because it's very horrifying. It's to revisit those moments and those triggers and whatnot. It's not easy.
But you just said temporarily, but it can have a long-term effect.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's why it's temporal.
It brings out also those things where they're passed on, even other generations and stuff. Instead of taking time, you first meet yourself, know your triggers, know your insecurities, know your strengths, weaknesses, before you bring another person on earth, before you bring another person in your life even. It's quite scary these days. Like, people don't notice these things, but we're so distracted. We're in an era where, like, our whole attention is taken by these social medias. You want to go out, you want to do this. But I'll dive into another thing that I started practicing called meditation. Meditation is all about...
Meditation. Is it Jamaican meditation or it's your own reggae?
It's calm. It's calm.
It's calm. It's not Jamaican.
Nothing. No. This is about calming your mind, sitting there quietly. When I first started it, it was so hard. I was like, this thing is actually weird to me. You have to sit, you practice how to make your mind quiet for at least 10 to 15 minutes. And starting that journey has become so amazing for me in terms of numbing what's going on. Because we're all busy. We have work.
Wait, you meditate for 10 to what?
10 to 15 minutes every morning. Yeah.
For real?
For real. But it's not easy. It's part of... So you may ask, or you might wonder, why do I do it?
So you're meeting self.
Yeah, it's not meeting self. I'll talk about, like, my past. First of all, during COVID, when COVID started, I was living alone in a foreign country for uni and stuff.
You're Musama, basically.
Yeah, I know. So when I was in the States, I went through a small episode of depression. And I didn't know what it was, but it was just because I was not comfortable. It was my first time having time for myself because I was living alone. We were not able to meet my friends and stuff because they lived a bit far. And you just get into a funk. That's what I like to call it, where you just cannot feel the purpose of life, that excitement, that drive and stuff. But I see it as a blessing because if it wasn't for it, I wouldn't have cultivated these great skills that I have for making myself feel happy, which includes meditation. I journal. I go to the gym. I try to eat right. Those things keep me happy and I can pass on that energy to the people around me, to the people that will come in my life. So I like to tell people that it's always great to take time to know yourself, know your triggers. It's a tough journey though. People think it's an easy thing. No, it's dark. You're going to see that people are actually flawed in so many ways. But once you go through that journey and you're like, I like to call it a personal development journey where you figure out yourself. But meditation has come, it was one of the most important things. It actually still is. I can have a stressful day at work, sit, be tired and stuff, and I quiet my mind for 10 minutes. I come back. The mood has changed.
Boss, you can what?
Quiet the mind. The thoughts are numb. Like nothing glitched. It takes practice though. It's very normal.
How long have you been doing this?
It's been like 6 months now. 6 months, but I had a break where I was
Where you can legit quiet your mind for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I can. But
Like,
it takes practice.
If someone pisses you off, what do you do?
If someone pisses me off.
Someone says something rude to you, or like something that carries so much weight that can sort of damage you psychologically, what do you do?
So before I tell you what I do, I'll explain to you how the mind works. When someone decides to say something rude to you, first of all, it triggers a thought.
True.
That thought feeds an emotion. That emotion makes you react.
Yeah.
So I have learned that I watch my thoughts. It's a trick
you observe them.
Yeah, observe them. So like if I start thinking of something, I create an outside bubble. It sounds crazy, it does. Right. But I watch myself. I'm like, oh, I'm actually starting to feel this way because I'm entertaining a thought. And that's where anxiety comes from. Anxiety is overthinking, saying, oh, I have to do this. You think about the future before it even happens.
Right. You're anxious about the future.
Exactly. So creating that outsider, viewing my thoughts, it has helped me to tame my anger. Before I would like kind of react.
Easily get triggered.
Yeah, easily get triggered, overthink like I'm thinking about
narratives.
Exactly. You create stuff and that's affecting so many people. I saw this funny thing on TikTok the other day. Like a kid was splashing water on herself, but she was running, not thinking about that she's the one splashing water, and she was crying. And the thing was like, that's what overthinking is.
Right.
You're like, there's a problem coming, but
how about this dude I saw this little kid at the pool? Like, instead of standing straight, he kept doing this and he kept screaming, thinking he's in the deep end.
Exactly.
All he had to do was stand straight, and he stopped crying. You see,
I've seen it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm trying to say is being mindful is one of the important things that we don't discuss, we don't talk about them, and it's affecting the youth, it's affecting young people. We run away from ourselves, we run away from our way of thinking of living life. And you start, let's say for example, I go out, someone gives me a look, my brain automatically tells me that person doesn't like you. They're going to do something. Then I entertain that thought. That thought produces something. What are they going to do? Oh, next time I can't work with that person. The other day they gave me a bad attitude. Maybe the person was having a bad day.
That's it.
Like it's not that deep.
Right. Journaling.
Yeah. So journaling is basically writing your thoughts. It's expressing what's in your head. So I've been journaling for a year now. I don't do it every day, but I do it when I need it. When I feel like, hey, I have so much on my mind, let me write it down. I can do it for I did it 6 months ago. I went back to that book I read, where my mind was at. Because I feel like we're supposed to always chase growth. Is my mindset the same as back in the day, or is it better? You have to keep getting better. And that's what journaling has helped me with. You notice that our thoughts can either be dark or they can be present. I noticed that my journaling came from, oh, this person made me angry, this, to now I'm like, hey, I'm grateful to this day. I'm grateful that I met this person. This person challenged me, but I feel better. Maybe they challenged me and made me feel this way, but after journaling, it's like my thought, it's like you pour out a cup of dirty water and it's clean. So I'm like, it's something that people need to start working on or practicing, because it helps you see yourself. You're like, oh, I actually sit and entertain this. Is it worth it? Is it worth it for my future self? Am I going to make my future self proud? Because I feel like we're supposed to all get to a point in the future, you look back, you're like, hey, I've come a long journey and now I'm here and I'm grateful, but it's work. It takes work to work on yourself.
Work.
You know?
Yeah, so you're very deliberate when it comes to that. It helps you self-actualize.
Yes.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. I get to see myself. I get to see my thoughts. I get to empty out. It's like getting a dustbin. You empty it, It's fresh the next day. You put a new bag. We go. New stuff will
Very
come.
therapeutic.
Yeah, you empty it. We keep
It's
going.
pretty much like going to therapy.
Exactly.
At
It's
that
all
point.
therapy.
You do therapy though, like legit sit next to a guy like this and.
No, I don't. I don't do
Do you
therapy.
believe in therapy?
Yes, the world needs it. Oh my God, the world needs it. But therapy can be in different forms. Your things that make you feel alive might be different from the things that make me feel alive. Cultivating those things is what's important. What works for me is meditation, journaling, going to the gym. Though I go super early, it feels
Yeah, I saw you.
good.
I see you in the gym on the ground,
Yeah, I was
lifting mad weights and whatnot.
Yeah,
Well done.
We're
Well
trying.
done.
I took a break, but now I'm back at it and I feel great. I feel amazing. It's like when I walk
What time do you
in,
hit the gym? What time?
this year I've started going 5 to 6 with my trainer. So I go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But it's such an amazing experience. I'll enter grumpy, tired, I haven't slept well and stuff. Walking out, I'm energized.
You're
I'm
right,
thinking
yeah.
about how I'm gonna
Possibilities.
Yes. So that's therapeutic to me. That journaling, working out, meditation. I also like hearing people's stories. Like this moment right now, I'm grateful for it because I
Same.
get to express. You tell me what you think.
Right.
I learn, and that's the part of being intentional
Right,
that
right,
we
right.
discussed earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
So this brings me to my question called vibrations and frequency.
Mm-hmm.
What role does it have to play in who you get in contact with, who you chat to, who you associate with?
Mm-hmm.
As in, there's different people, it's saying, man, vibes. As we we talk about vibes.
Everything is vibes.
Vibes.
No, actually, they say vibe.
Vibe. You know what I mean? What does vibes and frequency have a lot? What role does it play in who you what does it mean to you?
So I believe, going back to mindset, because that's the gift we have, that's you live with that for the rest of your life. This can change, my skin tone can change, I can change my smile, my skin.
Yeah, my skin can change.
Yeah, bleach, just
Bruh.
kaput.
I'm kawam easy.
You're fine. Yeah, so, but your mind, you live with it. From the moment you come on earth to
You can't
the
bleach it.
You can't. It stays with you. So,
You can drink some omo.
boss. So basically what I'm saying is what you think about puts you at a certain frequency.
Yeah.
If it's positive, if I wake up, I do those things that fulfill my soul and I am feeling great at it in that moment, it makes me feel happier and I can actually give it to you. I can share it
Pass
with
it
the
on.
world.
Yeah.
Pass it on. So if I'm at a good frequency, I'm working, I'm doing what I have to do, I'm working on myself and stuff, I'm going to start attracting those people. I'm going to start pulling them in my life. You're like, hey, earlier yesterday I was thinking about this thing and somehow this one
Somebody
discussed
got
it.
attracted,
The other
yeah.
one, oh, this one wants to meet
It's like how
me
your
and
name
stuff.
popped up.
Yeah.
It's like how we always here. We
Yeah.
didn't know ourselves 2 days ago.
I didn't know you. And
We didn't know
it's
each other.
amazing. It's amazing.
And look how it feels like we've known each other for a while because of the energy and what you attract and what you're obsessed with, which puts you in alignment. That means if you're fearful, you attract.
Fearful people and stuff.
If you're a deep diver, you attract fellow deep divers. What do you have to say about that level of attraction? Because many people are fearful. We hang with friends. I like to say all these things are the places we be at, the friends we hang with, and so on and so forth have a neurological network in our brain cells.
Yeah.
So there's a way they trigger us. Most of us have friendships that are not meaningful, but we're fearful of walking away from those predispositions because we're comfortable.
Right.
Yeah. So you find that you hang with friends who are always fearful, who are always constantly questioning, constantly
because
discrediting friends.
It's a reflection of you.
Reflection of you.
Yeah. So you attract who you are. I will give a personal experience. Right after high school, I was about vibe, too much of it. I mean, I still go out, I enjoy vibes.
The vibes have its place.
The vibes are there. But now they're more intentional.
Yeah.
It's calm, it's happiness, it's good. But the vibes back then, it was drama. Hey, someone is angry at me. Hey, I ended up saying this. I'm like, why am I attracting these types of things? Because I'm thinking of it.
Right.
I'm entertaining it. It's bringing something in me that I didn't know that I have. And it's now reflecting in the world. And as soon as I start working on myself, now I'm meeting people, even in those vibe, who are talking about great things, who are asking me questions that make me reflect. And I'm like, oh, actually, I need to work on this, become better. And it's such a great journey when you start it early. I know it's never too late.
It's not too late.
You can start at any age.
Even at 80, if you're intentional.
So you have to be intentional about even the things you entertain. Someone said it well and was like, the people you're supposed to be giving 30 minutes are the ones you're giving 2 hours, and the ones you're supposed to give, and the ones you're giving 2 hours, you're giving them 30 minutes or 15, because your intentions are not aligned. Instead of saying like, okay, me, I set like monthly goals. Okay, so I'll run it back. You can set 5-year goals, okay? Then you're like, my target is this. How can I achieve part of it in 3 years? In those 3 years, what can I do in 1 year that will help me get to that 3 years? Then how can I break it down to daily to get, or in a month to attain it? So that's what I do. I try to set like monthly goals, and I'm like, hey, I need to work on this, whether it be spiritual, emotionally, physically, or this part. And I'm like, I've been failing at this. And once I work on it, it feels good because it's helping me get to the end goal that I have set for myself. So you have to be very intentional. You're like, hey, if I'm maybe deciding this year I want to work on my finances, I cannot be doing the craziest spending, because those are things that happen without you knowing. They just happen in a blur. You're like, oh, I actually started spending. Why? And stuff. But instead of you being intentional, you write it down. And I think there's art in writing. For me,
Yeah,
at
I think
least.
there's power in that.
There's
Yeah,
power in it.
definitely.
It's like when you see it, you visit it, you keep going at it, you're like, oh, this is a reminder. Because your brain naturally can just jump anywhere. Yeah.
Interesting.
What would you say you do for yourself that helps you feel alive or come back?
Meaningful convo.
Yeah.
Meaningful conversations. Those type of things make me. They awaken me. They awaken that inner. Because I have to now self-reflect after a conversation. I feel like a child, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a little kid when I'm in contact with meaning, questioning, intention. Like, especially when the context is right, when the intention is right. I can't put it in words, but I enjoy moments. Like, I come alive.
You do.
I come alive.
It feeds your soul.
It feeds, exactly. So these conversations are hard to come by, especially when we're sort of caught up in vibes all the time. But so now I'm just sort of trying to learn the art of silence, taking advantage of silence, where you can put your phone away and just be there alone with your thoughts.
How is that going?
It's not easy. I won't lie to you that I'm anywhere.
Yeah.
So when I hear you talk about meditation, credit to you if you can sort of take 10 minutes off and just get lost in figuring out who you are, forgiving self, like loving
bliss,
self.
the quietness.
Let's just end with this question.
Right.
What do you have to say about loving self? What does loving self mean to you?
They call it self-love, but it's such a, I talked about it on my YouTube
I'm not talking about the narcissism. I'm talking about self-love, like where you get to forgive self, you get to align, where you get to like just become the embodiment of emanating a frequency that resonates with people, but ultimately it's just a byproduct of. The Bible says, "Love your neighbor as you love yourself." I think that type of love,
in my opinion, comes from self-awareness. I might be on earth, but I don't know who I am. And it comes from that journey of healing, that all that we have been talking about. Once you do that, you start meeting yourself, becoming self-aware. You become more controlled. You become more, like your mind actually starts breaking those patterns, those old generation of things, those old ways of thinking. And then you become self-aware. You're like, hey, I come from this background. It has affected me in A, B, C, D. But hey, we're changing the narrative now. We're changing the way we're thinking. Become self-aware. Even though that old trigger comes in, you're like, hey, that's my old self talking. Let me not entertain it. Because the more you entertain a thought,
the ability to control your thoughts.
Exactly. The more you entertain it, the more it grows, the more it affects you, the more it pours out. So you meet some people.
It trickles into your personal relationships and whatnot.
Yeah. So that self-awareness, which is a journey. It's not easy.
It's not easy at all.
You figure it out on you.
Exactly. But it's best to start at least.
Yes, you start where you're at. So that self-awareness brings that self-love. Once you have that self-love, I can pour it into another person, bring them in my life. We coexist. I love, this is completely off track, but I love when they say that relationships bring out the worst in you. It's like people mirror each other. You start seeing your triggers. Yeah.
You're going to attract the West Coast thugs.
Relationship, either it be actual relationship or like friendship, what you start mirroring each other, and it's a beautiful journey. You work on yourself, you see those things, you're like, why am I feeling this way? It's triggering something in me. So
Why
you
do I like this person?
Exactly.
They probably possess certain character traits that you embody as well.
yes,
And when you guys start to get more intimate, you start to clash at some
Yeah.
point because it's a mirror.
it's a mirror. They reflect something in
Yeah.
you, and it's a journey. But that's why you see it in the other person. You're like, and that's where the open
So
conversation
it comes from
come
where
in.
girls say, "Man, me, I like bad boys."
It means you have a toxic side in you. I'm sorry, but there's something
Means
toxic
you're a
in
bad
you.
girl as well.
Exactly. Because how are we gonna live a whole life together if we're not helping each other grow? We're just bumping heads and stuff. That is not going
And
anywhere
that's a real thing, by the way. Chicks are very attracted. Most chicks are attracted to bad boys.
because they're wounded. They're also
Yeah.
wounded in themselves. But once you have worked on yourself, you start looking for some of the challenges you to do better. That challenge to do better is going to be hard. It's going to require self-discipline. It's going to
Because the society around you is telling you to get the bad boys. Because the bad boys, sort of, that image of the bad boy is the one.
social media,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that. It's what's
Even the
crazy.
girls, we're looking for the bad girls as well. So it's like, you're going to get a chick who's just, yet everywhere you turn, billboards, Snapchat, Instagram, it's the bad girls that are sort of put at the forefront.
We're in an era where the bad is the good and the good
Right.
is the bad now. It's crazy. You find a person who takes their time, who does great stuff for themselves. Like, oh, that's boring.
It's boring.
That's not cool. That's not fun. But for how long are you going to entertain that? How is it going to help you in the long run?
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to build a life with someone, for example. It's going to take long. It's a journey. You're trying to know this person. You know each other. You help each other grow. You're going to bring offspring because we're meant to expand as human beings or network and all that. But out of all that craziness, it starts
Procreation.
with you.
Mm.
Yes. So it's, by the way, check out my YouTube channel. It's called BU. But
Be
that's
you.
yeah, because that you is the most powerful thing. The center of
Just
everything.
being you.
Yeah. So be present. Be
Yeah, tell
self-aware.
us about just to end. Tell us about Be You.
Be you comes from being your authentic self, because I believe we're all on earth to become the greatest versions of ourselves. That's how I came up with that name,
It's an initial, you say.
which kind of rhymes with my initials because my names are Belise Umuhoza. So be you, yeah, you get the gist.
Nice.
But yeah. So
Nice.
it's all about personal development, doing better. I really want to help the world see a different perspective of things,
Okay.
because we have this narrow way of thinking in the world.
No, set of ideals.
Yeah, so you work
that
on
we
yourself.
subscribe to.
Yeah.
Are you yourself?
I
Are
would
you
say
you?
I'm working on it, and I'm way further than I used to be. But we out here. We're doing the best.
Well done.
Yes.
Part 2 loading. I keep saying this to everyone.
Stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button.
Smash it, literally.
For sure, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here with us.
I want to reach 1 million likes. So please, Okay, thank you.